All right, so we have a scheduled appointment. I'm calling you up. Hey, Chris, this is David from Gwilt Group. I'm on my recorded business line. How you doing today?
David, I'm doing great. Thanks for calling.
Cool. Now still a good time to talk, Chris, or do we need to reschedule?
No, absolutely. It's perfect.
Okay, awesome, man. And with you buying this house, is it just you, or do you have a significant other as well that's going to be making this purchase with you?
Yeah, my wife's we're both gonna be buying it.
Okay, awesome. Is she there with you to be able to hear this call?
Yep, she's sitting down right next to me.
Okay, awesome. I'm assuming I'm on speaker then.
You are.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So again, appreciate your time today. Just wanted to walk through and sort of see what you guys are looking for. So tell me about your experience so far, what you've done so far to date in the buying process. If there's homes that you found, like what do you look for needs?
So, we've been checking, kind of all of the standard sites, Redfin, Zillow. Some of the kind of must-haves for us. It needs to be at least a 3-bed, 2-bath. We'd like to have some acreage. A garage is definitely mandatory. An extra room would be great when we have friends and family over. And other than that, we're fairly flexible on the budget. Um, Unfortunately, we just haven't seen a lot just based on, again, a lot of folks are kind of staying set right now based on interest rates and whatnot.
Sure. Yeah. Inventory can be tough for sure. So when you say fairly flexible on the budget, have you guys talked to a loan officer already and gotten pre-approval, or are you still working through that process?
Nope, pre-approved, planning to do a VA.
Okay, great. And then how much are you pre-approved for? And do you have money for a down payment if needed to go over that amount?
We do pre-approved for $1 million, and the down payment will be, we have enough to be able to make it happen. So we're still debating on how much we actually want to put down.
Okay, great. And then out of all the items that you listed, you didn't mention any specific locations. So is there locations we should be looking at? Is there a minimum or a maximum drive time from work that you're looking at, or any locations that you need to be next to?
No, we're moving. So we're looking in the Walla Walla area,
Okay, awesome.
Washington.
Okay. And you said you're not seeing a lot on the major sites. Would it be helpful if I were able to do some off-market searching for you as well in addition to those sites?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. And do you understand how off-market properties work and also how the syndication sites get all their listings?
Yep, tracking.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So out of the ones that you mentioned, I believe I heard you say you need 3-bed, 2-bath, acreage. You're looking for a garage as a mandatory item. You'd like to have an extra room, would be nice for friends and family visiting. Which one of those would you rank your top 3 mandatories versus nice to have? So deal breakers versus your nice to have.
It's got to have a garage.
Okay.
It's got to be a 3-2 at least.
Okay.
And it's got to be at least a half acre.
Okay. All right. Got it. And what's driving the garage need? I'm assuming it's for cars or storage.
It is both.
Okay. Awesome.
Just based on the weather in that area to be able to
Okay.
get the weather.
Understand. Okay. And are you looking just for primarily for single family residents, or would you also consider condos, townhomes, or multifamily?
No, just single family.
Got it. Okay. All right. And so far, what have you been seeing on the sites? You said there's not a lot, but are you seeing anything at all that piques your interest?
Yeah, there's a couple that have come on. But again, it's kind of trying to figure out if we want to pull the trigger. We still have a little bit of time, so hoping that some more stuff here will come on in the next month or two.
Okay. Great. And do you like the sites that you're on? Do you like having to go to multiple different sites, or would you prefer to be on one site if possible?
No, one site would definitely be better.
Okay. Would you like me to set you up on our home search then that we have, our home search platform that gets all the same stuff that Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, all those sites get?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, awesome. So that site's called Real Scout and get you set up on that. It'll also allow me to see some of your activity as well. As you're on that platform, you'll be able to request showings, send me messages. You'll be able to like and dislike properties. When you dislike the properties, it should make it so that you never see them again. So hopefully that takes it out of your search inventory and it's not continue to pop up in your face. If you have properties that you like, just, thumbs up. You can also rate them and identify different characteristics that you like about the property. The important part with that is that search platform AI. And so then once you start identifying characteristics, it'll tell you on the future homes whether or not those homes have the characteristics that you've said are important to you. But it won't rule out showing you homes that don't have those characteristics. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's that piece. And then on the lending side, you mentioned pre-approved. Do you know what rate you're at?
I don't. The pre-approval came in, I don't know, 2 months ago. So I'm sure it's continuously fluctuates.
Right. Yeah. So I would recommend checking with your lender. And then also, if you'd like another lender opinion to see what they can do for you, whether it's a higher pre-approved amount or a better rate, we've got a great VA lender that we've helped 60 plus clients already close purchases with. He specializes in VA. I'd love to make that introduction as well if you're interested.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And it sounds like you're fairly knowledgeable. So is this your first time buying a house, second, third time? Like how many homes have you done so far?
We've purchased a couple over the years.
Got it. Okay. Time that you purchased a home.
Oh, sorry.
When's the last time that you purchased a home?
Oh, 2016.
Okay. So things have changed a little bit in the last 8 years. What questions do you have right now at the point in the process that you're in as far as, how inspections work, earnest money deposits, how the search process itself works?
To be fairly comfortable with all that, I think we're just anxious to find something and get it under contract.
Okay, got it. And are you aware of the recent lawsuit activities that have taken place within the real estate world as well?
A little bit. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, sure. So there was a lawsuit that started out in Missouri, the Sitzer lawsuit, several years ago, recently settled, may get appealed, but basically the brunt of the settlement was the fact that home sellers were claiming that agents were inflating the overall price by including the buyer's agent commission within that home sale. And so part of the result that's come out of that with the settlement is that come July or August this year, there will be changes by our trade organization, the National Association of Realtors, that will remove buyer's agent commission from the MLS. And so for the past 20 to 30 years, that's always been offered in there. Buyer's agents, when they help a buyer out, they know what they're getting paid ahead of time. That's being advertised by the seller and it's covered by the seller side. Now, the new change with this is that they can go from offering minimal compensation. There's always allowed that they could offer as low as a penny to be in the MLS, to now they can offer zero, right? And so ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm sure you would agree, but we all work to make money and provide for our families. So it's nice to know ahead of time how much we'll make and know that you're not going to have to pay anything. But unfortunately, that mechanism is being pulled away. And so now what we'll do is we start this home search with you is when there's homes that you're interested in, we'll call up the home seller's agent and find out what commission they're offering. And then if that's not an adequate commission for what we typically work for, we'll just have to have a conversation with you if it's not already identified representation agreement. So that's the main change on it, is it's just changing the fact that sellers previously had to offer compensation to be in the MLS to now they don't have to offer anything. They're still in the MLS and those fields are actually prohibited. Some recent changes that are late breaking as of the last couple of days that are pertinent to you as a VA buyer are the fact that the VA may actually be waiving their prohibition on VA buyers paying the buyer broker fee because they recognize that under this new settlement, veteran buyers are now at a disadvantage if they don't have their own professional representation. So there's a few different ways that if you decide you want to work with us, that we can go about getting our commission covered. One of them is for you to pay us directly, right? If there's no commission being offered on the home. The other one is that we can go again and ask the listing agent what the commission is on that property, right? To be able to see what that is. And if it's below what our typical is, we can have that discussion. And a third option that we can do is you can always offer within your offer for the seller to cover our commission like they have for the past 20 to 30 years. And that's whether you're offering at asking price or slightly above, slightly below. We can always, put that in there and then just see how they counter that. Does that make sense?
Yep, totally does.
Okay. So as far as the process for us, if you'd like to, move forward and work with us, we work with our clients exclusively. It's something that we've done now for our entire career, so 8 years at this point. A lot of agents haven't done it up until this date, but one of the other things coming out of the settlement is for any agent to show you a house in the future, you're going to have a signed agreement with them that's going to document what their services are and what you're paying them for those services. So this is now becoming the norm in the industry, something that we've been doing for many years. So basically, the buyer rep is you hiring us. You go from being a customer to a client, and much has a duty to you once you sign with them. Confidentiality is one of the main ones. We have a fiduciary duty to you once you sign on as a client with ours. So What our requirement at that point is to always look after your best interest and no one else's when it comes to the real estate transaction. Does that make sense?
Totally does. If you send it over, I'll sign it.
Awesome, man. So we'll get that over to you. It'll be via DocuSign. It'll be for both you and your wife to sign. That's the electronic signature platform that we use. Once you sign that, I'll go ahead and set you up on Real Scout like we discussed. I'll also get you the lender intro. And then based upon where you're looking and when you want to look, I'll get you set up with one of our team agents as well, who will be out in the field with you to be able to show you those homes. Awesome.
Awesome. Sounds
Well,
good.
appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you and your wife, and looking forward to seeing you guys and helping you guys buy your house.
Awesome. Thanks, David.
Cool. Thanks, man.
See ya.
All right. Any questions?
How about feedback? Who wants
I'll take
to-
feedback.
What did he say that helped secure the client? And what could he possibly add to it? We're always open to suggestions. But remember, like we've done, I don't even know how many of these, hundreds of these.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you have to be, at our level, but we wanted you guys to see live how a conversation goes with somebody that, kind of has a little bit of experience buying homes, kind of a happy customer sort of person. Of course, conversations don't always go as smooth as this, right?
No.
Sometimes the conversation's longer. Sometimes it can be shorter. So who has input? Who wants to say how?
Go for it, Trevor.
Actually, Tasha, with our recent call with George,
Yeah.
I think that it went rather smooth like that. Obviously not exactly, and nor was it
No.
perfect per standards. But the only thing that I'd say is like the difference is what you told me, that there wasn't a whole lot of like personal connection, like besides for the, like the couple of chuckles that I had with him when it came to like, being a veteran and whatnot. I think it was the dogs, but stuff like that. So I think just like personalism, obviously, like David said, no conversation is going to go as smooth as that, then most likely not be straightforward. There's going to be some different like questions and stuff, but yeah, I just think personalism.
Right. And I think that sometimes the conversation does go very directly, and you're obviously going by the client's personality too. Some people don't want to talk about, personal stuff. I think that was something that, I agree that was missing on this one, is more personalization.
Yep.
It was very direct, very straightforward. Not all of ours go like that. So yeah, I think that's right on point, Trevor. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to point out something that went right? What did David say? Or what input do you have as to how he explained things?
I have a question.
Go for it.
So that we're talking about the buyer agreement is representing a person that's going to rent or lease. Does that fall in the same boat? Because I haven't seen nothing anywhere talking about that or any document for it. Does my question make sense?
Yeah, it does. I have not seen anything for it yet. There was never in the past that I know of a rep agreement for a renter, right? We've never used them. You can sign, we have, I guess, sort of done it. We've done like a buyer agreement before where they wanted to pay us a flat fee, whether or not it was Southern California, where we're helping them. A lot of properties aren't on the MLS, but they still wanted help. And so they agreed to pay like $750 or whatever, right? So in that one, I think we modified it for rental properties, but it was really meant to be a buyer contract. I have not seen anything come out for those, JR. I don't know that we will, because the lawsuits so far have been geared towards sellers and specifically towards buyer's agent compensation.
But it'll have to also include leases, because it's going to be something that's needed.
It may, right? But again, the lawsuits didn't address that. So if it doesn't come out, right, if it's not included in lawsuits, it's not required by NAR, it's not part of the settlement. Again, that's one of those top funnel activities that you could do to get clients and gain that trust up front, right, when they're renting, to ideally become their agent when they go to buy. And that's something that we've done successfully in our market. So rep agreement at that point, then that may be an easier transition, right?
But that's a good point, JR.
I would just also, if I
Oh,
can
go
add
ahead.
something to that, just like, because I'm actually about to send out the rep agreement with the person that I'm helping out right now. I haven't seen anything with that either, but I think that it's good because it's also like a secure payment, because you never know if the complex is actually gonna pay you out. So like the actual listing agents are gonna pay you out. And a lot of them don't anyway. Like they just like they don't right now they didn't even CC me back on this email, even though I CC or when I sent it to them, they didn't even bother like replying back to me. They just went straight to the client. So now I'm gonna basically just have to lead through the client instead, and then she's gonna tell me when she's scheduled, and then I'm gonna email them back, and then I now have to, hey, CC me, because if they can boot you out, they won't pay you because you didn't do anything.
Right.
Right.
But that way, you kind of secure payment at least from somebody for your services.
Right.
Right.
And sometimes you just don't get paid on rentals. Like sometimes you're just hoping that they'll send you a referral.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to do some of that work without getting paid, unfortunately.
It's like pro bono work.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep. Basically.
So something that I want, oh, JR, did you have another thing?
No, I was just curious because I do have a 6 o'clock phone call for a lease with later within a year purchase because they're relocating from Texas to here, but they want to lease first. That's where my question came from.
Oh, okay.
You could do, I mean, with them, you could do a buyer rep, right, that covers the lease if you want a certain
Right.
amount on that lease for them to cover with you. And then just identify that the buyer rep spans longer. And the way that I would couch that with them, obviously, is, hey, you're hiring as your leasing agent now, but as your buyer's agent in the future, I'm going to be here, available for you anytime you need up throughout this
Right.
next year. You're asking market questions and whatever else. But to
Mhm.
do that, I need to, you need to hire me, right? Because again, assuming everything goes forward with NAR, this will be common practice come July.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yep.
All right, and that's what I was thinking because last year I had a situation where I never got paid, and what the renters claimed was that she rented the unit, she leased the unit that I didn't show her. So I'm like, come on, bro. I still brought her there.
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, that you're going to face people in the industry that don't have the same ethics, right? So, and if they can avoid paying out, they'll avoid paying out. That's why it's
Anyway.
important to have your agreement signed.
Yeah, let's get back to the
Yep.
feedback.
Yep.
So I wanted to also say that, so when you guys are having these initial consults, be sure that you have the Gwilt Group buyer intake up or another similar buyer intake up, like the NAEA one. You can have that one up. That's a good one as well. Make sure that you have something that you're taking notes with. Sometimes we'll take it in follow-up, boss, but keep in mind, we've done hundreds of these. As a newer agent, you'll probably want to have something up in front of you, so that way you don't forget to ask something, right? So David, he even took notes in the team meeting notes to, remember what they were saying. Yeah, you can go back and listen to the call if you had the call and follow up, boss, but I would always take notes. And then something that I don't believe David did is repeat back to them what they want. So you said you
I
wanted,
did.
oh, you did. Okay. Sorry. I must have blanked
No,
out.
I asked them which ones out of those was nice to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you always want to repeat that back.
Or like you want 3-bedroom, single family up to 300K, like, something like that, and make sure that they know that you're listening to them.
Yeah.
And so.
Can I
Yeah, go-
add something there? I was
Yeah.
going to say, you guys heard me ask about the garage, what it's for. It's always important to try to find out the reason why they need certain things, right? That helps you detail on your side as well, whether or not it's truly an absolute deal breaker. Because they may say it's a deal breaker now, but come down the road when they're not finding anything, you need to know where they might be able to flex, right, on their requirements. So garage does tend to be a big one for, people with nice cars or a lot of tools, whatever. Certain number of bedrooms, if they've got, a certain family size or people visiting, those are important. But people say nice kitchen, then you get into the conversation, well, if the price was right, would you be willing to remodel the kitchen, right, and make it exactly how you want it? And there's different ways to walk through it with them. like Tasha was saying, most of them don't go that quick, that smooth. We have put up several of them for you guys to listen to within Gwilt Group University of some of the good past buyer calls that we've had. So make sure to go listen to those too.
Yeah, and never assume that you know the reason why they need something. So if they say a yard, don't assume they have a dog or a kid, right? Let's ask them, okay, so understanding that you need a yard, you know, why do you need a yard? Like, you know, you don't have to ask why, because people can be defensive when you ask why, but just find out a reason why. Like, oh, you need a, you know, you said you needed a yard. Like, what do you need? You know, just couch it away where you're not, you know, you're expanding more on that, like understand why they need what they're saying that they need. Like, oh, I need 3 bedrooms, you know, it's just me and my wife and my one child, but I use the other one for office space. Then you'll know, like, okay, what if I found you a really good 2-bedroom, but it has a loft? Would that work? And so like finding out those sort of things is going to help you understand their needs a little bit more than be like, oh, all right, cool, you need 3 bedrooms. All right, what's next? All right, 2 bedrooms. All right, cool. 1,500 square feet. Like, it's going to be so, you know, interview style, and you don't want it to be interview style. It should be more like a conversation, like you're talking to, sort of like you're talking to a friend on the phone, but more professional, right? And so just make it more of a conversation. Like, you don't have to, it does not have to be this formal thing. I remember whenever I first did my first one, and I was so nervous, and I actually did it in the office, and I went in and like sat them down at a table and everything. It doesn't have to be that formal. Yeah, of course, with the new NAR regulations, you could do it at the first, you know, showing, but now you can't. Because then you could be at the house while you're having the buyer presentation, but now you have to have the one signed before you go to the house. That's no longer the case. Do it over Zoom, do it over a phone call. You don't have to be in an office setting, and it's actually less formal if you don't do it in an office setting. And then if you do it on Zoom, you can actually show them slideshows. And there's something that we're going to come out with that's going to help all of you. We're coming out with a buyer guide that you can print out and give to buyers. And then we'll come out with a seller's one as well. And so you can put it in a spiral bound notebook and give it to your buyer clients. And this is going to help you guys secure your buyers, and make it seem more like a concierge service instead of, yeah, we have the high note presentation, but the buyer presentation or the buyer guide is going to be kind of one step up from that. And so that's something that we will release to you guys as soon as we have that finalized. So that's just something that we're always thinking about, right? Is how to secure more buyers, how to make the process smoother, how to help you guys acquire more clients. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Anybody
Real
else
quick.
find anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
I was
John.
just going to say on that real quick. Can you, off the top of your head, how many times do you think we actually met clients in an office versus
Less than
2,
5
3? Yeah. So, you know, the common thing that I hear, and I'm just going to put this out there, the common thing that I hear from people when they do leave EXP, when it happens, you know, there's brokerage moves, whatever. Oh, I need an office. We've got over 300 transactions under our belt. We've met a client, I think, once or twice in an office, ever. I don't like meeting clients. Even when we had an office, I don't like meeting them in an office. Like Tasha was saying, it's not personal at all. It feels not too professional, but too stuffy, I guess would be the word. We've
Not
met a lot
personal.
at Starbucks. We've met them at restaurants. We've met them at the house. We've gone on car runs and talked to clients at the top of the mountain. You know, you can go to a dog event, kid event, whatever, talk to them there. I mean, literally anywhere but the office will help you create more rapport, right? To your point, Tasha, as far as the agreement, yes, it's more difficult now because you have to have something in place before you go show the house. However, I think if you don't have that rapport built and you're willing to go show a house like you would have before without an exclusive buyer rep, but now you have to have an agreement, do the EXP single page agreement for a single property or for that day's showings. So you meet the new NAR requirements. And then after you've built a little rapport showing them the homes, then you can talk about the actual exclusive buyer rep. Because now they've gotten to experience some time with you a little bit. We've had plenty of success with it, but it is a more difficult conversation with people on the phone to get a buyer rep signed before they ever meet you in person. So.
Yeah, and like we said before, we've done hundreds of these, right? I gotta tell you, success rate is not 100%. It's not gonna be 100% for anybody, right? So you talk to, 10 buyers, 7 of those buyers will sign with you. 5 of those buyers might actually go through with buying a house. So, don't think that because you did your buyer presentation that, it's just that you suck. It's just that buyers change their mind. They have real things that happen, in their lives. So it's not necessarily always about you, right? So, and that buyer doesn't know that you messed up if you forgot something in your presentation that you were supposed to include. And that's something that, I had to remind myself when I was first starting out, because like I was bad at it when I first started out. I definitely, was interview style to these people, and I still got clients, even though I interviewed them versus just had a conversation with them. So you have to start somewhere in your business. So don't feel like you have to be perfect. Don't feel like you have to say the same words as David. David is a very articulate person. I am not. And so I wouldn't say the same things, same ways as David says them, unless it's written down in front of me. I'm the type of person, if it's not written down somewhere, I can't fathom it. Like, it needs to be written down on a piece of paper for me to understand it. So if you're one of those people, take today's call. It's going to be a recording, write it down, write down everything that David just said, right? And then make it your own. You don't have to say the same things that David said in order to secure a client. We're just telling you guys what has been our success, like what we've done to successfully secure clients. This works, guys. This isn't something that we're just like, well, let's just put this out to the team, see if it works. No, this is something that we've tried and true, done it time and time and time again. And it just worked like clockwork. And then Trevor knows, like, not everybody signs. Conversations go great and then poof, gone, ghosted. So it just, it's going to happen. But we have time and time again secured clients with these kind of presentations. And so, that's why we wanted to show you guys like what a conversation is like. That's exactly how a conversation would go with a client. And so Chris obviously was, a very, like David told him to be a very happy customer sort of person. So very easygoing, didn't have a lot of questions. Obviously, if somebody has a lot more questions or their particular situation is a little bit more complicated, then obviously it's going to be a longer conversation. They might have a property to sell as well. So then you're talking through that. You're trying to see if you can provide them with a referral to an agent in their area if they're moving from out of state. So there's a lot of things that go into the presentations. This won't be the only time that we do a presentation though. And so if we had time today, I would turn it around on you guys and make you guys do a presentation together, but maybe we'll do that sometime again in the future. But did you guys find this helpful? Yes? Awesome.